Clorinde will dispatch of your enemies in a flash, and today I'm gonna tell you how to build her best. My name is Juice, and let's get into it. So which sets does this epic Lady of Fontaine require in order to truly shine? I'm gonna start with none other than 4-piece Thundering Fury. Clorinde is primarily an aggravate DPS who deals in very quick fire rotations, and Thundering Fury lets you do even more skills, aka 2 per rotation, and generate even more energy, applying even more electro. This lets Fischl's A4 proc way more, resulting in a lot more aggravates per second or APS. But what if you don't care for machine gunning Fischl? You want Clorinde to be the main star of the show? Then 4-piece Whimsy will be your best bet. Clorinde's personal DPS is the highest with Whimsy. This is because she is a character who deals in Bond of Life, and can take advantage of the 4-piece set. For example, Clorinde's Burst giving her 120% Bond of Life value. Great Clorinde choice. 4-piece Gladiators also saves the day. This is because the quickfire attacks Clorinde does during her skill count as normal attacks. And because this set is so old, you can easily throw together a set based on old pieces you've already got lying around. 4-piece Echoes of an Offering is also competitive, but I don't like it because its performance is ping-based. If you're in the 60 to 0 range, then it's good, any more than that and I don't recommend this over Gladiators. 2-piece mix and match sets include 2-piece Electro percent, Normal percent, Attack percent, and DM. You can also opt for an Attack percent combo. As for main stats, simple. Go for Attack percent, Electro percent, Crit percent. Clorinde cooks best in Dendro teams. Here's the difference between using an Attack percent Sans versus an EM Sans in her best in slot aggravate comp. As for substats, easy. Go for this. All of her substats are valuable and important, so don't skimp on any one. Note that crit damage will have more value on her than most DPS units because of how much free crit rate is within her kit, Ascension, and via her A1. I think that Thundering Fury has the most comfortable Clorinde playstyle and will also give you the most quality of life. While damaging sets may be stronger, keep in mind that Thundering Fury will be the winner when it comes to being comfortable and in overall DPS. When it comes to her burst, make sure you've got the ER to cast it. It does a nuclear amount of DPS, and the bond of life you get from it is invaluable. And what weapons does Our Lady of the Law use to enforce the fact that for the first third day of every new month, no floating objects are allowed? She'll absolutely be using Absolution. This weapon is great thanks to its Bond of Life based mechanics which suit Clorinde perfectly. She'll absolutely eat up this pick, and since the Bond of Life mechanics were so tailor-made for her, yes, her signature will be quite strong. How about her 4-star options? She does have some decent ones, but they fall behind her signature by quite a bit. Finale of the Deep will be your free-to-play friendly option, has some Bond of Life mechanics in its passive, and can be refined for free, along with a tidy attack percent substat. It is a good budget option for Clorinde, but it's still 25% worse compared to the signature. Attack percent also isn't as valuable as damage bonus, crit, or attack percent within her best in slot teams. Battle Pass option Black Sword is also pretty strong, but having a crit rate substat may make it annoying to build around because Clorinde already has such high crit rate already. Lion's Roar can be good for Clorinde, giving a damage bonus when enemies are affected by Electro. You'll have about a 50% uptime on this. It'll be fine with an Aggravator Mono Electro, but not great in Overload where a Pyro Aura may constantly be overtaking your Electro Auras. Mistsplitter and Haran can act as great alternatives to your signature. I like Mistsplitter more, as crit damage has a higher substat value on Clorinde compared to a bunch of crit rate, but you won't go wrong either way. For this reason, I also prefer Foliar Incision and Uraku Misuguri over the likes of something such as Primordial Jade Cutter. Harbinger of Dawn is awkward, because Clorinde deals with her HP in a funny way, so while it seems okay on sheets, I don't recommend it because she gambles with her HP too much for this choice to be consistent. And Freedom Sworn. Okay, it has EM, but honestly, how much of you actually have Freedom Sworn? Worst of her 5-star weapon options. I do recommend her signature, but if you can't get it, no big deal. She will still be a strong unit with Finale. Just because a unit is good with their signature doesn't mean that they can't deliver decent performance without it. And who joins Clorinde as a part of the Fontaine police force? None other than the Aggravate Squad. The main core will consist of Clorinde, Fischl, a Dendro, and an Anemo. Clorinde's main role is to drive Fischl's A4 while also dealing her own incredible DPS. Fischl generates Clorinde plenty of energy and machine gun damage in return. Synergy and perfect harmony. Harmony mentioned? Videndro can be Nihida for her huge Dendro application and EM-based buffing tied to her A1, Baiju for his buffing and Dendro comps and ability to shield and heal, Kirara for her affinity towards aggravate teams and ability to act as a free-to-play friendly aggravate Dendro. Or if you're really stuck in the trenches, then check out DMC. No, not that DMC, this one. The animal would preferably be Kazuha, so Clorinde could get that sweet, juicy electro damage bonus. But Sucrose on Hoki Shinrin would actually be very strong here too, granted that she can swirl the Electro Aura off enemies. Nihida's ruining the Electro Aura economy, man! I also like Lynette here since she lends herself nicely to aggravate teams and is free. Any other VV applicator will be fine here, but I find those to be the key options. If you want to play Quick Bloom Clorinde, while I find this to be a lot weaker than plain Aggravate, you can swap your Animal option for a Hydro option, or swap Fischl for a Hydro option. Namely Yelan for her high sub DPS and ramping damage bonus, or Farina for her ability to let the world come alive, and damage bonus all over the place. It won't be as strong as Aggravate, but you can play it if you wish because it is an option. Fun fact about Clorinde, she can actually use all of Yunjin's buffing stacks, so this opens the door to hypercarry Clorinde. Finally, another damn Yunjin use case. I was waiting for this. You can play a team of Clorinde, Yunjin, Nihida, and Kazuha. Then you're officially playing Clorinde hypercarry. You can also swap Nihida for Kujo Sara if you really want to double down on the carry aspect of her. Now, this will not be stronger than traditional Aggravate, unless your Clorinde is so strong that you can justify prioritizing her over Fischl, or maybe you just want your Clorinde to be the main star of the show. That's fine too. Or if you have an expensive Clorox build and have cons and weapons, then this may be the team for you. Clorinde Overload. While it is a very unit-efficient team, it certainly is on the slower side of clears. It does work, however, so I will mention it. Pairing Clorinde of Chevreuse and then any other two Pyro or Electro units can net you a strong Overload team in which Clorinde can fire away at enemies like a true Copper Fontaine. Dual Police team, true. It's gonna be the cheapest Clorinde team and the one that can clear Abyss with the lowest ceiling of investment. Okay, so some folks were a little confused in the Alhaitham guide when I threw a lot of numbers and letters at you and just said, go, fight. Understandable, so let me explain what certain terms mean. Q means burst, NA means normal attack. A number in front means how many times you do something. So Q into N3 would mean burst, normal 3 times. E means skill, so Q, E, 3N means burst, skill, normal 3 times. I'll keep this key at the top to stop confusion. Clorinde's main combos across all of her teams will be the same. Q, E, E, 5N, 3E. But in her hypercarry rotation, you can pull off a more normal attack thanks to the attack speed buff of Yunjin C6. Q, E, E, 6N, 3E. Hopefully that was a little more understandable than my Alhaitham Guide's combos. Let me know if this was any better, guys. This is why your feedback is important for my videos. How does Gunwoman work exactly? Well, her normals are as normal as they get. 5 simple physical strikes. Her skill is where things begin to get jazzy. When you first use her E, she enters her gun shooting state where she does fast normal attack based electro damage that can't be overridden by anything else, aka more C6 Bennett propaganda. When she has 100% bond of life or more, she deals a pistolet shot. And when she has less than 100% bond of life, her pistolet grants her bond of life, with the amount scaling on her max HP. Then she'll deal more damage to enemies. You can see how much bond of life Clorinde has at all times by looking down at her HP bar below and seeing that red bar wrapping around the green bar. When you press E again, she enters the Impale the Knight state. When her bond of life is 0%, she deals a lunging strike. Clorinde heals herself based on her remaining bond of life value and the AoE of her attack is increased. And if she has 100% or more bond of life when she uses this lunge, her healing multiplier gets increased and she deals even more damage. Outside healing will also not work on Clorinde while she's in her skill state, it will instead give her bond of life. And when Clorinde leaves the field, her special state will also then end, so you'd have to reinitiate it when swapping back into her. Whew, what a skilled woman. Her burst is thankfully a lot easier to digest. She deals high electro damage in a large AoE and can grant herself up to 120% bond of life. Neat stuff. As for her ascension passives, Clorinde's A1 will increase the electro damage Clorinde deals with her normal attacks by 20% for 15 seconds, up to 3 times when they trigger an electro-related reaction, so up to 60%. Keep in mind that Spread is a Dendro reaction, not electro. A great passive that'll be easy to cap in her best installed teams, but keep in mind that she can only increase her damage by exactly 1.8k in this way. Her A4 gives her 10% crit rate for 15 seconds when her Bond of Life value increases or decreases if it started at 100% of her max HP. This can stack twice and has up to 2 stacks which are individually counted. Also, her skill's healing to Bond of Life conversion is automatically converted to 100%. Really strong and synergistic Ascension passives in my opinion. As for talent priorities, simple. Here's Clorinde's damage share for those who want to see the split of where her DPS comes from. Level her skill first since it's the main meat of her kit, and don't neglect that powerful burst either. Ignore her normals as much as you would with Ayato, because the scalings for her normals are within her skill itself. Or even think about how Raiden's normals don't affect her burst damage. Have you commit Fontainian tax fraud in recent times? While Clorinde is on to you, pay back your debts via Constellations. This is a pretty strong C1 and is actually worth getting if you're interested in having Clorinde feel pretty strong. Good stuff, worth it. Much like Xian Yun's C2, Clorinde's C2 increases her A1's effect by a significant amount. Good stuff but not entirely necessary, either way, yeah, good increase. Increases her skills level by +3, obviously great since it's the main meat of her kit. Dude, for a C4, this is incredible. Most C4 suck. Except Xiao's, of course. Best C4 ever. But jokes aside, the only other C4 I genuinely like is Farina's. Fantastic use of this con, finally a C4 that I can say is worth going for on its own. Increases her burst level by +3, awesome stuff. Though just get this on the way to C6. Of course this con is busted, it's a C6. But I will praise Clorinde in particular because her Constellation lineup feels organic and solid. To me, all of her cons are very you get what you pay for, and I think there's nothing better than that. I think in terms of investment path, go for R1, then for C1. Then you can stop there, low spenders. But if you want to keep going for cons, literally all of them are good in my opinion, so just keep going until you feel like stopping. But she's a complete unit at C0 in my opinion, so don't feel pressured to pull for them. Clorinde is the aggravate DPS, the quickest, bloodthirstiest Fontaine cop out there. You're sure to get the supreme DPS you're looking for when you deploy this elegant, albeit deadly woman on field. Her damage is sublime, and her build is intuitive. And most important of all, she's fun and hot. Hopefully this guide was able to help your Clorinde end the lives of her enemies in the blink of an eye. This has been Juice, signing out. And here's a quick secret technique for making it till the end of the video. Calling her Clorox Bleach will make your enemies die of cringe. So instantly.